We're here today, we're making a mudroom. I started there yesterday, and these are the cubicles. I have 10 feet of cabinet, which is about 120 inches. And as we start, these will be our top cabinets. We've put a dado. The only thing that's maybe a little overkill happened with my supplier. Believe it or not, in these part of the woods, I couldn't get 3/4. They had this put aside, we had to order for a special job, and plywood went stupid expensive. Cabinet grade, because of all the other construction woes, they decided to make houses with cabinet grade plywood. So go figure that one out. Now, with this is going to be insane. This is going to be like, this is like concrete. I mean, this is Baltic birch from the motherland of Russia. None of this freaking garbage from China or anything. And you can see, I got my dado here. I'm a little snug. I did that on purpose. I don't like being too sloppy, so I'll take a little bit off with the blade saw. And we're blessed with the CNC, so we're able to cut it. On this case, I treated the CNC like a tool. Now I've done, when I say tool, I mean I'm cutting this, doing it by hand. And what do you mean doing by hand? Well, follow me. I create the files for the CNC. It's in my showroom and just a little quieter, and I don't like using the same computer to do it as on the CNC. So the files really are quite simple. They're just square box, square lines, cut a square with a rotor overhead on the CNC. The CNC is really a godsend for a small shop. Somebody getting into business or whatever, I highly recommend. Don't even think about opening a shop without it. There's all my files. They'll be cut for that. There's about, I forget how many, about 20 pieces on there for the drawers. After a while, you just start losing track of all the parts, which is the confusion parts. Even though this seems like a small unit, but it was actually 20 doors. It was quite large. I went through about 12 sheets. I've done small kitchens with less sheets than that. So here I am just double checking something. Really to see where I am on the sheet on the edge there. Yes, I got this sped up. The machine doesn't go that fast. You can only cut so fast with the CNC. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Even if I got a bigger one or whatever, I can only go at a certain speed. Now, with this, I'll take all this and bring it to the other end. And for homeowners watching, saying, "Well, what the heck are you going on about? I don't need to learn about CNC." It's important you have a good dialogue or what to look for in the cabinet shop. You want to see some computerized equipment and things like that, especially when you hire a custom cabinet shop. So take it what you will. All right. Here we are. We're assembling the cabinet. And this is probably the simplest way you could ever do it. These are the sides. They have a dado. I went 3/8, and you want to go digital 0.375. Like I said, I know I sound like a broken record. We normally don't make cabinets with 1 inch, but in this case, because of the pandemic, this is all I could get my hands on. So this will be the bottom for there's going to be a bench right across from this. It won't be as deep or as elaborate as this one. And as I put it together, what's my thoughts on it? I did do research on YouTube, and pocket holes, pocket screws, or the jig seems to be the go-to. How do I say this? You're wasting your time with pocket screws, period. The end. Throw it away, save your money, buy clamps. Buy anything else, but throw that away. Now, when I have this, because what you've done is you've made the cabinets, which are boxed, so complicated that you don't have any time left or any money if you were to make a living on doing woodwork after that, because you've blown your time and you're not very strong. On this, I'm going to go here. We're going to show how we do it. Will I speed this part up? I don't know. Because the thing is, it seems to be people's attention spans seem to be 18 minutes. The video's longer than 18. They don't seem to do too well. And it's hard to do anything in cabinet making in 18 minutes. So I'm taking my glue. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go here. So I have the dados now lining me up. Perfect. You know? So I just come here. I have my clamp. The beautiful part is they're all the same. So I only need one set up with the clamp. So I'm going to come on over here. For whatever reason, this one was let go, and I don't know why. Oh, I grabbed the wrong clamp. Yeah, I just had a stupid accident. All the screws fell down. I was setting up my new area, so I'm a little pissed off myself. And if you're new to putting one of these together, like you see here, I'm a little off on that, eh? Now I got it perfectly flush here, and the reason for that is I had an error. You might say, geez, you had an error. What are you, a rookie? No. I had an error because I forgot to put the suction on and I was concentrating on the video. And I wanted people to hear. So I won't do that again. But you can make these. The big secret in cabinet making is make sure that it's exact. It doesn't matter, like for this case, if I was even a ½ inch this way or a ½ inch that way longer, it won't make a difference at all. I don't have to be that precise on this job, but it has to be exact. So I'm just going to pre-drill, start it. I used staples before. I did it with the thinner. They were pretty good, but lately, I don't know. I've just gone back to the way I used to do things with screws. You know, on this, I'm using the number 8s. I got a great deal on the deck screws. I got next to nothing. And there, you can see as I pull in. Now come on in here, the camera. And you can see the wood. That's it. Do this all day long. Now, this is how deep I am with the screws, if you see on top. That's a hell of a difference. And if I go on an angle with a pocket screw, how much can you catch on 3/4? That much of a thread? Really? How much is that going to hold it? And the other thing too is even the mass producing ones, they go, whoa, I got my melamine and I'm adding a dowel into the melamine. Good luck on that one. Because the dowel is only as good as the structure. And right now, this structure is like concrete. So I'm going to let this go. I just wanted that corner pulled in a bit. That's why I had the clamp here. Now I'm going to flip over. And I'm tight there. I can see my glue. I'm a little loose there, so I'm going to go here. What I'll do after with that little hump that came out where it was a little off, I'll just take it on the saw there and I'll just trim it ever so slightly. All right, but remember, you are going to have little mistakes like this, and you're going to have table saw error, or in my case, CNC error. It's easily fixable. So I'm taking the screw here. that's it. So in this case, this is a small cabinet. This is a bench, so I don't need a whole lot. And I'll keep it like this. Now this is why do not waste your time with 1/4-inch backs. I saw a video once of somebody who did it, and they spent a lot of effort. I wanted to see what was going on. And I asked him, I said, well, why do you put 1/4-inch backs on? Right? And he couldn't really answer in a good way. They ended up putting like stretchers here, then a 1/4-inch back. And the thing is with the back is like the spine of a person. How weak it is, like a 1/4-inch, you gotta screw it in, or that's why they put the stretchers there so you could screw it in. And then IKEA came up with an ingenious way, well, let's put a piece of metal. Well, how about using a full back? You know, I mean, keep it simple. How much money do I save on a job? 20, on this one? I don't know, 30 bucks? If maybe $20 for a 1/4-inch back? It's a lot more work for me. Now I gotta go with this. But with this, I can tell if I'm square. Now I'm a little oversized. That's my software doing it. And also I had an error. So I'm just double check. So I'm gonna go here and take a blade width off. So right now I know that I'm flush here, I'm flush here. I'm setting up the drawers and I'm keeping it simple. I'm putting my 2 sides on both sides, so I'll measure. Because with these type of drawers, the pullouts, they have to be almost exact. And what I like to do is it goes about a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the slide. If you go exact and you got a little hump, it'll tend to bind. It'll be harder to pull out the drawer. When you get that 1/16 less, they are so nice. They're so smooth, and they really do have a nice feel. In this case, for this unit, there's children involved here, and I wouldn't use undermount slides because they would step on it, and these things would be popping up. I'd be getting all kinds of phone calls because guaranteed with the young kids, one of them's going to climb inside that drawer. That's a given. And so we, I make ours accordingly. So in this case, I did gluing here, all my dados, doing it all in one shot. And I'll get a clamp. I like to keep the pressure with the clamp. It just keeps it pulled in a lot nicer. I take a look at my dado on top. You can always put it. Look, I got a couple of other clamps the other way. I could pull it in on top. But in this case, when I put the screw, if you watch how I'm putting the screw in the front there, that'll pull everything forward tight. And I'm just using drywall screws because I got the threads to the end. And because I'm going on an angle, I don't want to use big number 8s because they tend to split the plywood. And if you make a little mistake and you're off an angle and pops out, you can pull it out and repair it quite easily. The other thing I'll touch on, I touched on another thing. I can't stress the importance of like full backs. When I say full backs, same material. If you got 1 inch, use 1 inch backs. I could use 3/4, but I only have a few drawers, so I'm using my 1 inch. It's important for cabinet construction. Consider the backs, the spine of the cabinets, plus it allows you. Right now, I know if I'm off square with that back like that, I'll know in 2 seconds. And it's so important with these drawers to be square. You get a 1/4 inch in there, and you can have them twisted, even with the dovetail. Sometimes they can come out a little twisted. And the reason why I say, well, how come they get away with it? Well, with undermount slides, you can get away with murder. You can be out of square with those drawers and they still work, no problem. But with this, you can't. you can start getting out of square, and these drawers are not going to work at all. So take it for what it's worth. In my opinion, hands down, like we'll put the backs on the cabinets behind, and they'll be so strong with those full backs. There'll be no movement whatsoever. It makes it an easy install too when you have something that's strong, you know. I can't imagine putting 1/4 inch. See, I'm checking both angles to see how I'm square. And there I dry fit it, and now I'm confident. Now I'm on install. I probably skipped about 20 steps here to get to this state. Mainly because we have a lot of other videos we would encourage you to watch, and everything's there. And now I'm just dry fitting the crown molding, and there you go. The rough install without the doors. Alright, we're almost finished the install, and I left out about 20 steps to get to this point. It was very hard to take videos here without having, the small children involved. There's a lot of yelling and kids being kids, which is kind of fun because it's near Christmas time and it's great to see the kids. Now, if you can see here, we got the L bracket, like when we showed the other video. And now we got the crown molding there. My joint is right here. I did a 45, put a little plaster there. Well, not really plaster, but wood putty that's tinted white. I've done my outside here. I'm waiting until this dries. I got 2K urethane paint. I'm gonna have to put a little bit in, mix it, and I'm gonna do it tomorrow. All right. Now everything else is looking good. The only thing is I used the face frame hinges, but I had to put a little spacer here to push it over. I was a little too tight. The face frame was supposed to have a 1/2 inch on it, but they actually had 5/8, and it kind of screwed me up. I don't know why. And then when I talked to my supplier, they're like, well, duh, is there a difference? Excuse me? Yeah. You go on a job site one day and see a difference in a 1/4 inch and see what it does on doors. So anyways, I had to work around that. The lights are fantastic. They come down, and the hooks are in. This is about what's driving. I've been at this all morning now, putting these handles in, putting this in, and it's taken me about 2 hours just to get to here. So I'm going to be another hour easy, and brutal. That's all I got to say. So I go like this. On this side, I have 2 adjustables. I have this one 7 inches, which would give me in the middle, roughly here. That's our line that we're going. So I kind of just go 1 tick there. Then I come down with my height, which is right there. I'll show you. I took it off here. Right, that's the first screw. And I just come around. That's 1 hole. And I do the same here. I'm not doing really a jig. Oops, I did a mistake. This was set this way. So, guess what happens? That's why we use pencil, eh? So we can erase. And I'll take that little line out. No harm. That's it. So, then I go here. I got an extension, but there's a reason for that. Now I got that hole. Then I go over here. This one, it's always good like to double check. This isn't as critical. I got 8.5. So I kind of go here. 8.5. And I use this line here, the wood. So, kind of looking that it's straight visually. I mean, could I make a jig for this? Probably. Okay, so that was that one. And I'm going to do the same on this one. All right, here I am. Now I'm in full production of the hardware, and you can see I just try to keep it simple. It's at the end of the project, so you don't want to make a mistake. You know, you don't want to start touching up things, because the wood I wouldn't be able to touch it. I touch it up, but you'd always know the screw holes were there if I did a mistake. So let's see how the spacing turned out. Should I have gone a little more to left? Is that too tight for a couple of jackets? Because there's kids involved, and there's also knapsacks and bags and all kinds of weird stuff. So let's see. Oh, look at that, eh? It looks really good. You know, you'll never have it super clean. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and support this channel.